initial reaction to the new Custodes model was one of major excitement. I love me some new toys. But other people online were upset and pissed off and moaning about it. But I was like, well, it's Warhammer players, it's a day ending in Y, so of course they're upset. But then I stopped to think about it a bit more. It was a generally exciting set of announcements. I play both Orcs and Custodes. Hell, I play 8 or 9 armies actually, but Custodes and Orcs are two of my preferred ones for like competitive play. So I saw a big mech guy with a big gun, I saw a Custodian shield captain with a new type of shield and a melter. Oh, a melter spear. I love me some melter. So I was like, cool, and looked to move on. Then I saw some people on the internet complaining about this character. And it's those complaints I wanted to unpack today because it kind of changed my mind. It showed me the light. Before we jump into the video, have you ever thought about supporting me on Patreon? Yes, this is an ad read for a sponsor, the sponsor being myself. $2 a month, you can support the channel, Warhammer and Magic, everything that I make. And for $2 a month, you get access to my Discord server as well, where we're playing Warhammer 40k on TTS as part of a league with prizes for first and second place. It sounds super competitive and sweaty, but we have scrubs like myself even playing in it. So why don't you join up to Patreon for $2 a month in the description below. Get involved with the TTS league, which is free to enter if you're a patron. There's prizing. You might even get paid against me. I'm playing in every round. I'm not the rounder, so I can't win prizes. I'm playing a different faction every single round, so I can blame that for my inadequate performance as opposed to my skill at Warhammer 40k. Full TTS League happening on my Discord, launching very soon, probably a day or two after this video comes out. Come join. Anyway, back to Custodes. The first complaint was one of aesthetics and style, that he looks short and squat, and if I'm honest, I can see exactly what they mean. He does appear to look quite short, at least in his own images. I guess once we see him on the tabletop next to other Custodians and Custodes, he might look less like a space dwarf, like a squat. But personally, I still like the way he looks. He's got a bit more of a dynamic pose, where every other Custode, including Trajan Valoris and Valerian, just stand there with their legs doing nothing special and their arms doing nothing special. The fact that he's gesticulating with a spear, has a shield on, stood in a rock, even has a little crest thing, I don't know. It looks unique and interesting to me, but I see their point. The other complaint was a more fascinating one. I saw people in one of the Facebook groups getting angry that this was all they were getting. They were like, here's your new Custodes model. Is that it? And you know what? At first I was like, what the fuck are they on about? What I realised was, as someone who plays multiple armies and flirts around, getting a new toy is a novelty that happens semi-regularly. I own a lot of Marines, and Marines really scratch that itch, but I also play Necrons, and I also picked up World Eaters. You can't really see them because of my lighting setup. The point is, I'm never normally starved for a new toy, but if you play exclusively Custodes as your hobby or competitive army, you might feel a little bit starved. This is a feeling that a lot of Xenos players have had for a long time. Look at Tyranids and Eldar. Up until recently, they were looking at model refreshes for multiple parts of their line being 25 or 30 years old. Some of Eldar still is. The Warp Spiders are fucking ancient. They can not only drink and drive, but their backs hurt and their knees are giving up. And if you play GSC, you basically had one drop in 7th edition, one drop in 8th edition, so two like massive swaths of model line, and then you got one character in 2022. The GSC have it worse, I'm not saying they don't. If you're into Custodes, they originally released in plastic in 2016 before I came back to the game in the Burning of Prospero box set. In that box set, you got some Space Wolves, you got some Thousand Suns, you also got some Custodian Guard and some Sister of Silence. If I'm honest, if this was announced like today, I would, well, if these things didn't exist, it was announced today, I'd lose my mind. This is such a fucking cool box set. What an incredible set. 2 years later, we got a fleshing out of the range with Trajan Valoris, Alaris Custodians, Custodian Wardens, and Virtus Praetors. And then 1 year later, we got a Black Library book character with Valerian, who then ended up being part of the main model line and becoming part of the Codex. The reason I mention that is that the Orcs just recently got a Black Library celebrated character from Brutal but Cunning, and he's going straight to Legends, because Games Workshop don't want to let us play with our toys. Look, Mr. GW. Can I call you Mr. GW? Is that your father's name? Either way, the game is an unbalanced mess the vast majority of the time anyway. Let us play with our toys. The Red Gobbo and Uthrok Hammer Snagger, or whatever his name is, should both be playable in the modern game of 40k. Give Orcs more characters. It's not like they don't have enough as it is. 2 years later, I'm now in the hobby, and we get a Blade Champion, which is in 2021. To me, it felt like it came out yesterday, but it's been 2 years since the Blade Champion got released. Isn't that crazy? And now we got 10th edition. We got the Shield Captain with Magma spear thing. The thing is, the Custodes are like the GSC in the sense that they don't have that many sheets. And the thing that Custodes have to rely upon is that they are a faction within the Horus Heresy game and thus get a lot of Forge World support. Something that Games Workshop seem to be slowly dwindling and like sort of like sunsetting away from 40k, which scares me because most of the coolest toys for Custodes, even if they're not competitive right now, are in the Forge World book. And with a lot of Forge World shit coming to plastic, why couldn't they put any of this stuff into plastic? This is all the stuff that launched in 2017 and 2018 for the Custodes via Forge World. Tanks and dreadnoughts would have been fucking dope. Just to tell them on itself as a plastic kit, maybe with a new weapon option, would have been like erection-inducingly good. But at the moment, instead, those units sit with rather lackluster rules in the Index Imperialis or whatever the fuck it's called. And I think I'm getting the impression that Games Workshop don't want people to use them. Or at least don't want people to use the Forge World resin stuff. I don't really understand this logic or this thought process. I don't get it. So no Plastic Heresy stuff, which is what I wanted to see as the next step for Custodes, if I'm honest, to see the Dreadnoughts come to plastic, because I want to build and paint more of them, but fuck building Forge World resin, am I right? So there's none of that. So what do we get? We get a character. And it's a character who already exists. The Shield Captain's already a thing, but with a new weapon type. So I'm not... Under the current way that datasheets work in 10th edition, it does mean that it'll probably be his own datasheet with his own rule or mechanic or once per game activated ability or whatever, which is cool and everything. I'm so excited for him and the Codex and to play Custodes. But after sitting down and thinking about this argument, one that I immediately dismissed at first as Games Workshop fans or Warhammer 40k fans just complaining about anything, I realised that if you are just a Custodes fan and not someone like myself who flirts around like some sort of Warhammer butterfly, you might be a bit sad that you're just getting not many toys, if any toys at all. And let's talk for a minute about exclusively putting them into box sets. The first place you're able to get hold of this character that I really, really would like to get hold of is going to be in the Auric Champions Battle Force. Now look, if you are looking to get into Custodes, buy this Battle Force. It looks fucking awesome. Main character, and you've got your Terminators, your Wardens, and your bikes. Look, some people are going to tell you online that the bikes are bad. We don't fucking know that because the Codex isn't out. When the Codex drops, they get point changed, datasheet changed, or have an entire detachment designed around making them good. We just don't know that at the moment. So stop telling people on Facebook and Reddit that the bikes are bad right now. Yes, they are, but that's not helpful information when the Codex is out in a month's time, you fucking idiots. But this box set is incredible as a starting position for the army. If you make character out of some of this stuff, this box set comes to 1,370 points. This plus a combat patrol is a full army. Great value for a starter. However, a symptom of there being very few sheets in the army, it means that people like myself who already collect or play Custodes already have all this shit. This box set is virtually useless to a current Custodes player, and thus we can't get the main character unless people are cutting it out of the box and selling it on eBay for some sort of markup. Now hopefully this little lad won't be locked in this box for long and we'll get a release of him within a month after this box comes out. Or I might end up kit bashing one like I normally do when this stuff happens. That's why my Mozrog Scragbad looks nothing like the normal one, because he wasn't available at all, not even locked inside a box set for like, was it 2 months upon release? It was kind of stupid. So in short, I just wanted to say, if you are annoyed that this is all we got this edition, I hear you, and I think it's a valid complaint. It's super interesting because Games Workshop spread themselves super thin and make so many model kits. It's actually insane how many model kits they make every year for like 6 different game systems, from Necromunda to Blood Bowl to AOS now to Old World, Heresy, Warhammer. I probably missed some there, like Kill Team, kind of a crossover 40k. But all of these things get multiple releases, like normally a release a month at least. There's only 6 releases a month, right, for like different stuff. It's crazy how many kits and how far they spread themselves thin, and then can't keep the stuff in stock, and then also spend no resources or time or energy to give anyone an update, even just once per edition. And that's the last bit I'll end it on as well. Some people are probably thinking, well, why don't you wait? What if we get some more stuff later down the line? What if we get a Custodes kill team? And there's also a chance of that. We get the Quillon Terminators or the Melter Pike Custodes in a kill team. There's also a small chance of that. But ultimately, the rhythm seems to be that most armies are getting just one kit this edition. So all we got was one lead character. And that's what we got last time as well, was a character. Come on. Plastic Dreadnoughts, anyone? I've been Vince, also known as Pleasant Kenobi on the internet. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with people's upset, or do you think people are just being little babies about it? Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon, the link below, $2 a month. Come join us on TTS and have a good time. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.